History is, and science is, rich with forgotten artifacts and strange discoveries popping up all around the world. Interestingly enough, it appears that some of the strangest of these discoveries surround that of the many bodies of freshwater lakes located all around the world, and the secret stories surrounding them. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be going over 5 of the most mysterious lake discoveries ever made. A forgotten charter plane. Back in 2013, in the city of Charlotte, located in the state of North Carolina, the FAA quickly raced to the nearby Lake Norman upon discovering evidence of a possible airplane crash site 90 feet under the water of the lake. The FAA then began to conduct a long investigation into the lake, soon surfacing a submerged charter plane located at the bottom of Lake Norman. According to investigation details, the Charlotte Fire Department became aware of the submerged aerial craft after conducting training and testing procedures all across the lake involving the testing of new state-of-the-art sonar pinging equipment. During the fire department's dive practice drills, they discovered the plane after high-resolution sonar images showed a strange artificial craft similar to that of a small charter plane. As the dive team descended, they soon began to wonder what had occurred, as the plane did not seem to be damaged in any way, outside of small erosion, and there appeared to be no signs of a pilot or passengers anywhere around the wreckage. News of this investigation and the strange discovery surrounding the plane quickly spread to the nearby city of Charlotte, leading the FAA to eventually release details surrounding the investigation and the efforts then being made to surface the craft. The story then led to many theories surrounding the craft, believing that perhaps something far more weird was going on. Many found it strange that no pilot or passengers could be uncovered and that the quality of the plane was still largely intact. Charter planes are often known for crumbling upon impact with the water at high speeds, and so details surrounding the investigation seemed more than peculiar. It wasn't until a woman named Barbara Anderson stepped forward claiming to own the plane that the investigation began to make sense. According to the woman, back in the summer of 1974, she claimed that flight instructors borrowing her plane had forgot to lock the parking brakes properly, leading to the plane submerging in the lake. This quickly led to the end of the FAA investigation and the strange theories surrounding the plane completely disappearing. The sunken treasures of Lake Toplitz. Described by treasure seekers from around the world as the Nazi El Dorado, the sunken treasures of Lake Toplitz contains notable artifacts of history that are known to still remain in their resting place despite the location of the treasure having already been discovered many years ago. The reason for the treasure remaining untouched revolves around the main issue of being able to reach the artifacts and retrieve the sunken treasures. According to scholars, back in 1943 to 1944, the shores of Lake Toplitz was utilized by the Nazi regime as a temporary naval testing station. Throughout the station's lifetime, Nazi research scientists experimented with many different types of devices and chemicals and the effects of ocean depth relative to pressurized force. Given its secluded nature and difficult to reach location, after the failure of the Nazi project, Operation Bernhard, which worked to attempt to overinflate British currency, the Nazis used this temporary naval research station to dump over £100 million notes into the lake. These notes have yet to be recovered, and it is further believed that several other priceless artifacts may be located at the bottom of the lake, given witness reports from divers who have spotted sunken aircraft closer to the bottom of the lake. However, given the dangers of sunken logs halfway to the bottom of the lake that creates a natural barricade, diving in the lake to retrieve these treasures and artifacts have proven to be beyond hazardous and regarded by even the most experienced divers as impossible. The hunt for the sunken treasures of Lake Toplitz has also unfortunately claimed many people's lives, of whom were brave enough to risk it in the first place, and due to this has led to a ban in the region relative to treasure seeking and diving in the dangerous regions of the lake. The Lake Michigan Stonehenge. During an investigation back in 2007, as archaeologists were scanning the waters of Lake Michigan in the hopes of locating old recorded shipwrecks in the region, they found a number of strange structures that began to take form on their sonar imaging. At first, the structures appeared to be nothing more than a number of large rocks and boulders in peculiar spots, only to later be revealed to the archaeologists as massive megalithic carved rocks that featured a number of prehistoric markings on their surfaces. Additionally, the researchers discovered a grouping of these megalithic stones that seemed similar in design to that of Stonehenge, adding further proof that the large rocks had been artificially placed. When divers went down to gather more information, they found the rocks had a number of strange detailed images that appeared to be carvings of ancient and extinct mastodons all across the surfaces of the megalithic structures. Unfortunately, further information could not be gathered as the archaeological experts were not able to reach the appropriate depths necessary to view the structures, as the experts remarked that they do not dive and are not skilled enough to reach the areas necessary to gather appropriate information and reliable data. Due to this and the large size of the megalithic structures, preventing the stones from being moved with ease, it appears that not only is it impossible for the researchers to study the strange rocks, but that any further information won't come forward until either a massive funding project is put into the investigation or an archaeological expert becomes a master freediver. The Petrifying Lake Natron. Lake Natron, located in the Arusha region of northern Tanzania, seems to be a lake with more than a number of mysterious discoveries surrounding it. When researchers first discovered this lake, they found a number of strange figures floating across the surface that soon revealed the lake to be a natural wonder of the world that seems better suited as being the background landscape for a horror movie than real life. Researchers discovered that due to the lake's low depth and incredibly rich mineral deposits, strange cyanobacteria fills the lake, creating a peculiar red hue during its photosynthetic processes that makes the thick waters of the lake similar in look and texture to that of coagulated blood. Although this colouring phenomenon is easy to explain, it appears that the lake holds additional properties of which have left many wondering as to its exact mechanisms of function. Interestingly enough, because of these rich mineral deposits and strange red bacteria, it has been found that any animals that enter the region are almost immediately petrified and turned to stone, seemingly untouched by time. Skeletons of a variety of birds can be seen floating across the shallow tops of the lake, and larger animals including wildebeests and larger falcons have been turned to statues in the areas nearby via this petrification process. These findings create an unbelievably surreal environment that swallows the area in what can only be described as a nightmarish design. The cause for this petrification process is still widely unknown, and research into the region has been halted due to preservation efforts to the local environment. This could mean that not only is the lake mysterious in its appearance and abilities, but that the mechanisms for such an odd discovery may be completely unknowable and possibly fringing on the supernatural aspects of animals being frozen in time. Similar to the Greek mythologies of Medusa, the landscape is littered with these petrified remains of creatures all throughout the area. An underwater lake. Though we have discussed a wide variety of lakes holding strange artifacts and objects in their waters, it appears that scientists have discovered a lake that had been hidden underwater itself. Referred to by scientists as the hot tub of despair, it appears that research scientists have discovered a strange underwater anomaly that can only be described as an underwater lake so toxic that it is viewed as a large biohazard to life throughout the region. The underwater lake rests 3,300 feet below sea level within the Gulf of Mexico and seems to be at the center of a vast desert-like region of the ocean uninhabited by life. The lake appears to be a pit of water that is visibly heavier and more condensed than the surrounding water, giving it the appearance of a naturally forming lake underneath the ocean. Research scientists have discovered that this lake is filled with extremely salty forms of water, much saltier than the water surrounding it, while being mixed with a rare form of dissolved methane that will instantly kill any sea creature that falls inside. This discovery was made by a research team from San Pedro that used underwater research vessels to help assist with the gathering of information surrounding underwater biology and geology. Although they were more than surprised by the appearance of the underwater lake and its toxicity, they were well aware of similar phenomenon found all across the world, described as brine pools. The discovery of this unique brine pool has helped shed light into the formation of such a phenomenon and the effect it has on surrounding marine biology and their habitat. It appears that an artificial wall of mussels living on the edge of the forming waters helped to keep the underwater lake intact and capable of maintaining its form in the ocean, a behavior never before seen in the region. Interestingly enough, despite this information gathered, it appears that researchers are still studying these occurrences as they find them to be very strange underwater anomalies and rare in nature. If more of these crater-like structures can be discovered in the near future, it might help to shed more light into the unexplainable nature of these underwater lakes and their effect on marine biology. But what do you all think of these strange and mysterious discoveries surrounding a number of different lakes from around the world? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.